Hello, hello. Welcome back to Matthew and Rachel Radio English. I'm Matthew.
And I'm Rachel. Wherever you are listening from in the world today, whether you're on the subway, at the gym, doing the dishes, or just chilling on your couch, we are so glad you're here. Seriously.
And today, we need to talk about something that I think almost every single English learner on this planet has felt at some point. And I mean every single one.
Oh, I already know where this is going.
That feeling, that horrible, frustrating, confusing feeling when you think, wait, I have been studying English for years. Why does it feel like I'm still going nowhere?
Yes, and the thing is, you are not a beginner anymore, right? You can survive at an airport, you can order food, you can understand the basic idea of a movie, but then someone asks you something like, so, what do you think about the political situation in your country? Or tell me something funny that happened to you recently. And suddenly, your brain just freezes, like a computer with too many tabs open.
Exactly. And you feel like a 5-year-old robot trying to have a philosophy debate. It's a real thing, and there's actually a term for it in language learning. It's called hitting a plateau. A plateau, by the way, is that flat part at the top of a mountain where the land just stops going up. In language learning, hitting a plateau means you feel completely stuck. You feel like no matter how much you study, you just are not moving forward anymore.
Some people also say hitting a wall, like you are running and suddenly, bam, there's a wall in front of you and you just cannot get through it.
And today we're going to talk about exactly why that happens, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it. Because there are real reasons, real specific reasons, and once you understand them, everything starts to make a lot more sense.
So let's get into it.
Okay, so reason number 1. And this one is going to hurt a little. I'm sorry in advance.
Just say it.
Watching Netflix with subtitles in your native language is not studying English. I know. You feel like you are doing something. You are watching an English show. You are hearing English words. But your brain is completely ignoring the audio. Your brain is incredibly lazy, by the way. If you give it an easy option, it will always take it.
And even if you switch to English subtitles, which feels like a big step up, you're still training yourself to read English, not hear it. Reading and listening are two totally different skills. Your ears are not getting the workout they need.
And here's why that matters so much. The real problem is not that native English speakers talk too fast. People always say that, oh, they talk so fast. But that's not actually the issue. The real issue is something called connected speech. When native speakers talk to each other in real life, they do not pronounce every word separately and clearly like a textbook. They blend everything together. Words melt into each other.
Right. So in your English class, you probably learned the question, what are you doing? Nice and clean, every word clear. But in real life, that sounds more like, what you doing? Like completely different. You'd hear that on the street and think, what language is that?
Or another classic one, I am going to becomes I'm gonna. You probably heard that 1,000 times in songs and movies. Or do you want to becomes Joanna. Or let me becomes lemmy. These are not lazy or incorrect versions of English. This is just how the language actually lives and breathes in real conversations.
And if your ears have only ever been trained on clean, slow textbook audio, real conversations will always feel like a wall of noise. That's why passive listening with a safety net, those subtitles in your language, is keeping you stuck.
So here's a question for everyone listening right now. Be honest with us. Are you still watching movies or series with subtitles turned on? And if so, are they in English or in your native language? Drop a comment. Send us a message. We genuinely want to know. No judgment here. We're just curious.
Absolutely no judgment. We've all been there.
Okay, reason number 2. And this one I think might be the biggest one of all. It is the translation trap combined with something even more powerful, the fear of making mistakes.
So let's start with the translation part. When most learners want to say something in English, what do? They think of the idea in their native language first. Then they try to find the English words for each part of that sentence. Then they try to put it all together. And by the time all of that is done, the moment has already passed.
Right. The conversation has moved on, the other person is looking at you start to sweat a little, and then the pressure makes it even worse. It is like trying to drive a car while also reading a map and cooking dinner at the same time. Your brain just cannot handle all of that at once.
And here's the thing. This happens to everyone, no matter what their native language is. Korean speakers, French speakers, Arabic speakers, Portuguese speakers, Mandarin speakers. The internal translation delay is a universal experience.
Now, here's where we need to take a little detour and talk about something that makes all of this so much worse. And I promise this will make you feel better, not worse. Let's talk about the classic pronunciation disasters that scare people half to death and make them want to never open their mouths again in English.
Oh, no. Oh, I know exactly where this is going.
Yes, so English has these tricky short and long vowel sounds that are basically invisible in writing, and this creates some legendary moments of panic. For example, you want to ask your teacher for a sheet of paper. A sheet, S-H-E-E-T. But if you mispronounce that long E sound, it comes out as a word that is very much not appropriate for a classroom.
And similarly, you might want to talk about a lovely day at the beach, B-E-A-C-H, but if that vowel sound goes slightly wrong, again, not what you meant to say. At all.
This fear is real, and it is shared by English learners all over the world. People literally avoid speaking because they are terrified of saying something embarrassing, and we completely understand that. But here's the truth. Native speakers know you're learning. They're not going to judge you. They're actually impressed that you're even trying to speak a second language.
Now, let's talk about another reason why word-for-word translation always fails. And this is the concept of collocations and prepositions. English, like every language, has combinations of words that just go together. You cannot swap them out. They're fixed pairs, fixed groups. And they often make absolutely no logical sense if you translate them literally.
For example, in English, we say make a mistake, not do a mistake. If you say I did a mistake, every English speaker will understand you, but it sounds off. Or we say take a picture, not make a picture. Or make a decision, not take a decision. These are called collocations, words that are just married to each other in English.
And then there are prepositions. Ugh, prepositions. The nightmare of every English learner on earth. In, on, at. Why do we say at night but in the morning? Why do we say good at something but interested in something? There is often no logical reason. You simply have to learn them as fixed phrases because translating them from your language will almost always lead you in the wrong direction.
And this is such an important point. English is not a code that you crack by translating each word. It is a system of patterns, habits, and fixed expressions that you absorb over time. The sooner you stop trying to translate and start trying to absorb, the faster everything will click.
Okay, so we have talked about the problems, and I know that might have felt a little heavy, but here comes the good part, because the solution is actually something you can start doing today, right now, even before this episode is over.
And the core idea is this. You have to stop treating English like a subject you study and start treating it like a world you live in. Even if you cannot physically move to an English-speaking country, you can build an English environment around yourself wherever you are in the world.
And the key to doing that is forcing your algorithm. Your phone, your computer, your YouTube, your social media, they all have algorithms that learn what you like and show you more of it. Right now, those algorithms are probably feeding you content in your native language because that is what you have been clicking on, but you can retrain them.
Here's how it works. Think about what you actually love, not what you think you should be interested in for English learning purposes. What do you genuinely love? Are you obsessed with fitness? Find fitness channels in English. Are you into gaming? Follow gaming creators who speak English. Are you a foodie? Watch cooking content in English. Are you fascinated by true crime or space or fashion or philosophy? Find it in English. The internet has everything.
Because when you are genuinely interested in the content, you stop thinking about, I am studying English right now. You start thinking about the actual topic, and your brain absorbs the language almost by accident. That's how immersion works. That's how children learn their native language, not by studying grammar rules, but by being completely surrounded by it.
And while we're talking about building habits, let us give you a couple of really useful phrases that will help you stay on track when things get hard.
The first one is to stick to it. To stick to something means to keep doing it, to not give up on your plan. So you might say, I know this is hard right now, but I'm going to stick to it.
And the second one is to step out of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is that safe, familiar space where everything feels easy. But growth never happens in the comfort zone. It happens right outside it. So stepping out of your comfort zone means choosing the harder option, the one that makes you a little nervous because you know it will make you better.
And honestly, this whole episode is about stepping out of your comfort zone, turning off those subtitles, speaking even when you're scared of making a mistake, choosing English content when it would be easier to watch something in your language.
Okay, we have a little challenge for you right now. Open your YouTube or your Instagram or whatever platform you use most. Look at your recommendations. What percentage of those videos or posts is in English? Be honest with yourself. Drop that number in the comments because that number will tell you a lot about how immersed in English your daily life actually is.
And if that number is close to 0, that's not a judgment. That's just information. And information is power because now you know what to change.
All right, before we say goodbye, we always leave you with a weekly challenge. And this week's challenge is, I know some of you are already groaning. I can feel it through the screen.
Just tell them.
This week, you're going to change the language on your phone and your computer to English. That's it. That is the challenge, full stop.
Now, before you say, but I will not be able to find anything, just hear us out. Yes, the first 2 days are going to be slightly painful. You are going to be pressing buttons you do not recognize. You are going to be squinting at menus, trying to figure out where the settings went. You might accidentally delete something. No promises on that one.
But here's what happens after those 2 days. Your brain adapts because it has to. This is what we call survival learning. When you have no choice but to engage with English in your daily life, your brain finds a way. It's not magic, it's just how the human brain works under a little bit of pressure.
And think about it. You check your phone dozens of times a day. Every single one of those moments becomes a tiny English lesson. Every notification, every settings menu, every app, little by little, that all adds up to something massive over time.
No more excuses, no more waiting until your English is good enough to start immersing yourself. Your English gets good enough by immersing yourself. That's the whole point.
I just want to say one more thing before we wrap up. Learning a language is genuinely one of the hardest things a human brain can do. It requires patience and consistency, and a whole lot of tolerance for feeling confused and embarrassed and frustrated. And the fact that you are here, listening to this, means you haven't given up, and that matters more than you know.
Beautifully said. Seriously. All right, everyone, that is it for today on Matthew and Rachel Radio English. If this episode gave you something useful, if it made you think or laugh or made you feel a little less alone in your language learning journey, please leave us a like and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Come find us. Drop a comment. Tell us which reason hit closest to home for you today. Was it the subtitles, the translation trap, the prepositions? We want to hear from you.
Take care of yourselves, keep sticking to it, keep stepping out of that comfort zone.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.